Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashta Prayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna, everybody. So today we have Disapperance Day of two great acharyas. One is Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami and one is Radhunath Das Goswami. So let us meditate. These opportunities give us opportunities for purification. By hearing of their life, we cannot do like that. Neither we can do tapasya like Radhunath Das Goswami, And neither in old age we can read Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. But we can just appreciate. And that way we get purified and inspired. Radhunath Das Goswami was the son of a billionaire of those times. That is, he was a Jamindar, and on behalf of King Nawab Hussain Shah, he had a huge place to collect taxes. To collect taxes to the tune of 12 lakhs in a year of those days. So 1 lakh per month, and today's would be at least $1 billion per month. Same money, gold coins, 1 lakh gold coins. What is the cost of a gold coin today? You can calculate now. Okay. So that is Raghunath Das Goswami, very, very rich. And right when he was very small, so when he was very small at that time, he used to serve Haridas Thakur, other acharyas, very respectful. And once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, once he desired to go to Vrindavan, he came to that place. So at that time, he wanted to give himself to the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was so happy in his station, he will not even leave him. He will just stay with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu whole day, like a young boy, desiring to be part of the army of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, now you're a small boy, please. Keep Krishna within your heart and be normal outside. So that is followed then. And it's very soon, Krishna will pave way for you to full-time join the army of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not easy. Somebody wants to join the army of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First thing the family will object. They're not interested. Even chanting so-called 16 rounds, they're not interested. They want my son should also be half in spiritual life, half in material life. It's very difficult actually, very, very difficult. I think 100 people who desire is one can make it. In America, it was easier because in America, individual freedom is very strong. The child is above 18 years, parents, neither they can or neither they will. They come on the way. They leave it to the child's life. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada could raise a huge army in America. In India, he could not do that among so-called Vaishnavas, among so-called devotees. He could not do that. They were not interested. Hypocrites. Externally, they say, I worship Krishna. Internally, they don't believe in it. I remember once I met a Christian in Bangalore. She was my landlord, long time ago. And she was telling, I have 5 sisters, all the 5 are nuns. And even my son, I requested him to become a priest, but he refused. But I said, tell him one thing. There was no objection at your house when you wanted to become, sisters wanted to become priest, or why didn't you have objection when the son, or you are rather ask your son to become a priest? No. If I believe in my God, Jesus and all, then why I should object when my son or sisters go to him? But in India is, full of hypocrisy and superficiality. Just a show. They say I'm devotee of Krishna, they say, but if some near dear one wants to dedicate their life, they will make a show as if death has occurred in the family. The big drama. I was part of the big temple, I remember. They will say 1,000 congregation. And then if somebody's son become brahmachari, 999 will say Hari Bol, and that person will have fever for a few days. Even after chanting, we don't know which mantra is chanting, whom is worshipping, God knows. But so-called faith comes out. Testing time, faith actually comes out. Whether a person believes in God or not believes in God, it comes out. Krishna created a test, and then we can see the hypocrisy. Also should have actually in other religions, even though we may say the knowledge is very limited, the revelation is very limited, but there is celebration in the house. Ask a Muslim, In the house, a son becomes a priest, what happens? There is a celebration. As a Christian, what happens in the house? When a child joins a church, there is a celebration. But in our so-called big dharma, they say Sanatana Dharma, Varnashrama Dharma, Hindu Dharma. There is in a scene in a house as if a death has occurred. Anyway, so something similar situation Radhunath Das Goswami had at home. Something similar hypocrisy. One side, Hiranya Govardhan Majumdars were great devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At the same time, they didn't want him to dedicate himself to the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Total hypocrisy and cheating. Total hypocrisy. He was living with it. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, see, your parents are nice devotees, that's okay. Be normal outside and internally keep your faith. Therefore, always in ISKCON, youth preaching is kept separate from the grahasthas, because they will not allow them to hear Sarvadharman Parityaja. For them, Sarvadharman Parityaja means a lot of conditions are there. Unconditional total surrender to Krishna, they will not allow children to hear. So therefore, any temple is successful in youth preaching, they don't allow you to sit with adults. Because you cannot preach, they'll object to complete surrender to Krishna. And there's a similar situation. Hiranya Govardhan Majumdar. So we are also planning now separate yatra for the youth, not with the families, because they will not allow them to hear Sarvadharman Parityaja meaning also. Rather, they give reverse upadesha also. No, not needed, not needed. Like us, you stay. Like us, you stay in a pit of stool of sense gratification, side by side to devotion service. So Radhunath Das Goswami had a desire to dedicate, but what to do? Situation was reversed at home. So person should be very patient in this hypocrisy, should be very patient, because elders will never take instruction, they will shout. So person should be very patient in such situations. In different situations, you may be as a woman, a hypocrisy at home, the husband is not interested, or your husband, wife is not interested, like Srila Prabhupada. His own wife was hypocrite, was not interested in spiritual life. Her name itself was Radha, but not interested in spiritual life. When Srila Prabhupada wanted to preach Krishna consciousness all around the world, rather than assisting him, she used to make joke out of it. In next room, sit and have tea when he's taking class instead of helping him. He saw this hypocrisy. He tolerated it, waited for a situation where he can come out of this hypocrisy. And that came to him at 55 years. Order of Guru came at 26 years, first time. His Guru's order was confirmed at 40 years. And he had decided now, externally, internally, he's come for that work only. He's the Senapati of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he taught us a lesson. Be patient with the hypocrisy. Because hypocrite will never agree he's a hypocrite. Hypocrite always lives in denial that he's a hypocrite. Correct? A drug addict always lives in a denial that is a drug addict. A drunkard always lives in a denial he's a drunkard. Kal chhod dunga main. Kya baat kar rahe ho? Correct? So this was the situation for Radhunath Das Goswami. If he goes to Hiranya Govardhan Majumdar, he says, you are only showing their devotion to Krishna. But when I want to dedicate my life, why are you doing so much drama? So much drama that father forcefully got him married to a girl beautiful like Apsara. So much drama that father kept 10 servants at home to see at any condition he should not join Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Swajana hi katham Krishna, so-called attachment to material life. So Radhunath Das Goswami found it very difficult. And he used to not even sleep with his wife. He used to sleep outside in Durga Mandapa. They used to have worship of Durga at every house like we had Mangalore Navaratri. So he used to sleep in some outside place, not even sleep with his wife. And intensely desire to join Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. So one day his mother said, why don't we tie him? Every day he used to try to run away. And the servants will run behind him and bring him back. So one day what happened was, when he came back, I was brought back. The mother said, to the father, why don't we tie him up? They said, see, can't you see? He's become mad after Chaitanya Chandra. What we can do? So in one sense, he knew. Other sense, mental attachments for preventing him from letting his son serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. So went on, and then finally, Raghunath Das Goswami understood that actually, if I want to join Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, I need mercy of Nityananda. I cannot directly join. Without Balaram's mercy, you cannot achieve Krishna. Similarly, without Nityananda's mercy, you cannot achieve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now what happened? He went to Panihati, with the famous instance we have on the Panihati day. Panihati is also joining festival. And Raghunath Das Goswami went to Panihati when Nityananda Prabhu had come and fell at his feet. And Nityananda Prabhu said, from such a distance you are hiding, paying obeisance, I'll punish you now. The festival of punishment. And what is the punishment? You feed all my entourage. Chipped rice with milk and chipped rice with curd. Please feed them. So Raghunath Das Goswami was very happy because he's a billionaire. Money is not an issue for him. So he had some gold coins. He practically purchased all the milk in the village, all the curd in the village, all the chipped rice, fruits and other things, and nice Panihati feast was made. And not only that, nearby villages also he sent his people to bring, and whole town came, just like we had on Janmashtami, 12,000 people coming from nowhere. So similarly, whole town came. People are happy. Festival is happening here. Prasada is being distributed. It's very happy. So whole town came, and everybody was celebrating and having nice prasadam, chanting Krishna's name, and looking at such a beautiful form of Nityananda. So beautiful form. They're so happy. So Nityananda Prabhu, by his mercy, by his power, brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared there. Nityananda Prabhu took some from one pot, chipped rice with curd was just mixed and pushed into the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu playfully. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took some chipped rice mixed with milk and put it in the mouth of Nityananda Prabhu. Like that, they were seeing the festival and all devotees sitting, chanting and honoring prasadam. They were watching that. And next day, Raghunath Das Goswami came and fell at feet of Nityananda Prabhu. He said, I am desiring, even though I don't deserve it, I'm desiring to dedicate my life to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. I want your mercy. To Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu said, oh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already came yesterday. And he blessed you. It is happening. Don't worry. And he blessed him. And he said, very soon you will known as Swarupa's Raghunatha. Because there is Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami. There are many common names. Haridasa, Raghunath, these are all common names. So at least at those times they used to not have names like Pinky Pinky. The names were meaningful. Some Vedic name with some meaning. So Raghunatha, very nice name. So there are many Raghunathas, so he said, it will become Sarupa as Raghunatha. And now, one of the days what happened, there was an opportunity to run. One, Yadunandan Acharya, Prabhupada says, officiating spiritual master of Raghunath Das Goswami. Yadunandan Acharya. Yadunandan Acharya was, one day came to Raghunath Das Goswami. He said that, his pujari has vanished. And tomorrow morning, Mangalarti is there. And can you go to convince that fellow that, Mangalarti has to be done? How will I do it? He is doing the seva. So that, or like local language, he will say, Bhatru has vanished. So Pujari is not there. So can you convince him to come to my place? He said, yeah, I can talk to him. I know him. So he was walking with Yadunandan Acharya. And on the way, he thought, this is the time to run. It was the middle of night already. So he told Yadunandan Acharya, you go to your home. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. It's late night. You go and take rest. Yeah, it's okay. So he was like his guru, officiating spiritual master. So he cheated his own. Sorry for all this. Kachara. So now, metal word is kachara. So now he decided, yes, I will go and dedicate myself to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. And he ran in the night. Started running, he ran for 12 days. 12 nights. He ate for 3-4 days only on the way. And with great difficulty reached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw him. Was very happy to see. And then he fell at the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, please accept me at your shelter. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes. Krishna has saved you from the pit of hypocrisy. He says, pit of stool. I agree. Hiranya, Govardhan, Majumdar are devotees, but so-called devotees. They have so much attachment to wealth, family, and all these things. They are not fully dedicated. So Krishna has saved you from this pit of hypocrisy. Just imagine. Externally, Hiranya, Govardhan, Majumdar were maintaining all the town. So rich they were, but still not fully dedicated. There were still silly attachments to family, wealth, prestige, honor. He said, Krishna has saved you from that hypocrisy, from the pit of stool. He says a strong word. And now given an opportunity to serve Shri Krishna. And Radhunath Das Goswami then stayed at the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Sarup Damodara. In fact, one day Radhunath Das Goswami approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please tell me what is my duty. Please tell me. What some instruction I give me. Through Sarupa. So humble. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay, specific instruction for him. To some extent, we should also follow. We cannot imitate Radhunath Das Goswami. He says, Bhalo na khaibe. Don't eat very nicely. Eat simply. Bhalo na, don't wear very attractive clothes. Gram katha na shunibe. Don't hear ordinary karmi news. This happened, he died. Bomb blast happened, here this many died. Every day it happens. Why you're wasting your time? Grama katha na shunibe. We should focus ourselves on Krishna katha, not grama katha. So he told like that. In fact, we can differentiate a devotee from a karmi. See which katha is interested to hear, grama katha or Krishna katha. When you are eager to hear Krishna katha, we become devotee. When you are eager to hear grama katha, we become karmi, even in the dress of a devotee. So dangerous. Grama katha is so dangerous. So he hears that and he follows that. We don't follow, he followed. Therefore, he is Radhunath Das Goswami and we are here. Because he followed. And Radhunath Das Goswami his father felt very bad. He searched all the way, could not locate him. Shivananda Sena was going with a big team, just like you were going to Jagannath Puri for darshan. So Shivananda Sena used to go to Jagannath Puri carrying a big team with him. And at that, so his 10 people came running. Is it Raghunath with you? He said, no, he's not with me. And they ran back to the father. He's not with them. He said, now he has run away. Then he came to know through them that actually he dedicated his life to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's at the feet of Saru Damodara. So the father felt, why he has to, and he lives very simply. Why he has to live simply? I'm a billionaire. He's so much attached to money. So he sent a lot of, say, 1,000 gold coins and 3-4 servants, brahmanas. So in the beginning, Radhunath Das Goswami used to engage them to make big feast and used to invite Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and feast Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Maybe once in 15 days, Dwadashi used to feast Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya would come and accept his feast because he was very affectionate to this wonderful devotee. But later, one day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sarup Damodara, what is happening? I'm not getting the feast invitations. The 100 items with all big luxury. I'm not getting nowadays. What happened? They said, now he's not, what feasting? He has sent those wealth away and those brahmanas away. So how is he eating now? No, he's standing at the door of, imagine the billionaire's son. He's standing at the door of Jagannath temple. You will see that when you go. He's standing at the door and as people come out, They see him standing hungry, sadhu. They buy some food from the Anand Bajar and they give him, okay, eat. And they go. Chaitanya Prabhu says, yeah, that's very nice. Then one day Chaitanya Prabhu says, I don't see him standing there also nowadays. Where is he? Sarvadama, oh, he stopped that. He said, that is like a prostitute. Now this customer, this person is my customer, this person will not be my customer. Correct? Looking for some business. Or this person will give me charity, this person will not give me charity. Mind become very agitated by that. So he has stopped all that also. Then how is he eating? Now what he does that the food, you will see that after the evening, when food is sold off, then what is remaining is given to the cows. And when the cows also don't eat because it starts rotting, it is washed nicely and it goes to the drain. He picks it up from the drain and washes that stinking rice very nicely, and he eats that. So then wow! And Chaitanya ran there, Sarup Damodar behind him. So he saw Radhunath actually washing that rice nicely. That stinking rice, washing all that stink away and having that. Chaitanya was, oh, you are having such delicacy. He wanted to encourage. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught different things from different devotees. To Radhunath, he taught tapasya. So he was encouraging him in tapasya throughout. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, give me. You have such delicacy, you don't even invite me. And he ate. And about to have second time, Sarvadama said, Lord, this is not food fit for you. And he stopped his to eat and having second time. And then after that, one day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Radhunath and he gave him Govardhan Shila, with which he had been worshipping for 3 years, and it was wet from tears of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and one garland of conch shell. So he could understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants him to live at the shelter of Radharani at the feet of Govardhan. He understood. And he organized, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu organized him to be given some items for regular worship or nice worship of Govardhan Shila, nice prasadam and all those things. And then after that, he went to Vrindavan at the shelter of, in fact, he is the first person among the 6 Goswamis to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he met him in the childhood. So he is the first one among the 6 to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But all the 6 are very, very glorious. Raghunath Das Goswami then came at the feet of Govardhan and he stayed there at the shelter of the Rupa Sanatana Goswami. And then he used to stay there, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to Vrindavan, he had discovered Radhakund. And if you read Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami, he says, who will not stay at Radhakund? Raghunath Das Goswami actually followed that. He was staying at Radhakund. And he was staying there. And sometimes he used to feel, maybe I should develop this place, have nice, place, night banks. Like recently, Government of India has sanctioned some few. Actually, it happens to be my classmate who sanctioned finally. But some 15 crores, something like that, to develop ghat at Mayapur. Big ghat. So similarly, he wanted to make a nice ghat, people for bathing, and he was desiring all that thing. So what happened was, and sometimes you feel, why I'm simply desiring all this opulence. I can serve Radhakund without that. So Krishna heard his heart's appeal because he's total renunciant, where he will get money. So one very rich person went to Badrika Ashram, great tapasya, going to Kedarnath, Badrinath is a great tapasya even now. And those days will be more. So many miles and miles of walking. And he wanted to offer to Badrinath a lot of wealth he had made. He wanted to donate to Badrinath. So in his dream, Badrinath came and he said, no, I don't need. There is one great devotee in Vraja called Raghunath Das Goswami who trying to renovate and build the Radhakund Shyamkund. Why don't you give your wealth for that? Meet him and tell him I told you, because he may not agree, this fellow. So finally he went to him and finally came back to his house. Then he went to Vrindavan. Then he located Raghunath Das Goswami at Radhakund Shyamkund. And he said, I got a dream. Please accept. Badrinath has ordered me that a well should be used to build this. So he said, okay, if the Lord has ordered, I'll not come in the way. Please do this service. So he's built. What you see today, beautiful Radhakund Shyamkund, is because of desire of Raghunath Das Goswami. Like Srila Prabhupada desired, let there be temples in every city and town, and you see it manifesting that desire. And then after that, Raghunath Das Goswami used to personally sit below, he'd never make cottage for himself, sit below the sun and chant his round. He used to eat once in 2 days, half a glass of buttermilk. That's all. Very, very austere. He was extremely thin. And he used to 1,000 times, 64 rounds he used to chant, and 1,000 times offer obeisances to Krishna, and 2,000 times offer obeisances to Vaishnavas every day. Always hear about Krishna and his glories. Very, very great Acharya. Then what happened? One day, Sanatana Goswami used to sometimes visit him because he was under his care and see what's happening. And he one day came to know he's not keeping well. So why? Because he used to do Manas Puja. That is, Manas Puja means in the mind you offer something to Krishna. So he used to personally have only buttermilk every day or once in 2 days, little. That's all. But in the mind, he offered to the Lord big sweet rice. Rabadi. Rabadi or sweet rice, you say. Not rabadi, sweet rice. And after that, he had prasadam mentally. Even in that, he fell sick because they're not used to heavy items. Very interesting, they observed. Another thing, one day Sanatana Goswami observed that he was sitting in hot sun and chanting Hare Krishna. And he saw Radharani standing there. She was passing by. She saw him and she put her, that's chunari, the chadar above his head. And hot sun, she's standing. She's having transcendental perspiration. Not like ordinary like us. So Sanatana Goswami, then after that, said, I saw this. What you're doing here? At least build a cottage. Even the Lord is disturbed by your austerities. He said, okay. He finally agreed and had a cottage at Radhakund, made a small cottage, and used to sit and chant all day and offer the save us to the Lord. So that is Raghunath Das Goswami, very, very great Acharya. We can't even imagine his austerities, his devotion, his Vaishnava qualities. This is a renunciation. The another personality is now Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, happens to be today's Disapperance also. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was a great Acharya, a great devotee of the Lord. And he one day saw a very strange thing happening at his place. There was a great disciple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramadas, who was also very attached to, he was rather among personal estates of Nityananda Prabhu, Ramadas, Manikitena, something. So now what happened? One day he came and he saw his brother, his own brother, ignoring him, neglecting him. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's brother had firm faith in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but no faith in Nityananda Prabhu. Just like we have in this belt also, some jokers who say Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead and Balaram is the Jiva. We have jokers like this. Some Madhvas speak like this, very offensive. Balaram is the first expansion of Krishna. So similarly, he had an offensive attitude to Nityananda Prabhu, not recognizing that he is actually the first expansion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he could see that, Ramadas could see that. He instructed his brother again and again. These two are one body only. God cannot be two, it is one person only. Why you are making such differentiation? Why you are so offensive towards them? But he was not listening. Finally, great upset, he went away. And he says his brother fell down. Now, fall down doesn't mean person fall down on the ground. Fall down means sense gratification becomes very attractive. Fall down means the pleasure of chanting the name of the Lord goes away. Fall down means interest or devotion service goes away. That's called fall down. Fall down doesn't mean physical fall down. So he saw his brother fall down from the path of pure devotion service. So he was very sad to see all that. So in a dream, he got Nityananda Prabhu coming. And Nityananda Prabhu ordered him, go to Vrindavan. Everything, treasure is waiting for you there. So he packed up. Anyway, he was sad. He packed up, went to Vrindavan, landed there at the shelter of the Shad Goswamis. Raghunath Das Goswami, he took Diksha from him. Rupa Goswami was the elder. Therefore, he says, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami says, Rupa Raghunath Padayar Asha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Dasa. So then, at that time, there was no Chaitanya Charitamrita, there was Chaitanya Bhagavatam, the books were there. But the Vaishnavas wanted to, Chaitanya Bhagavatam mainly focuses on the early pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and not so much philosophical debates and later pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many devotees desired one more book because they wanted to hear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's later pastimes also. So the Vaishnavas came and requested Krishnadas Kaviraj, Goswami, can you do it? He said, okay. And he sat in front of Madana Mohan temple and he prayed, my Lord, what is the decision? I am very old man now, perhaps maybe 80-year-old. And this order as request has come. I don't know how I'm going to do it. In fact, he said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, my hands are shaking. My eyes are almost not working. I don't know how am I composing this book. Actually, he did it by the blessing and empowerment of the deities. So when he was praying to Madan Mohan deity, one garland fell. That's how the Lord gives indication. And he saw it as the blessing of the Lord, indication, do it. And he said, okay, I'll do it. And he requested a Vaishnava ordered by the Lord. He did Krishnadas. He wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita very humbly. In fact, he had also immense Vaishnava qualities. He writes in the book, I am more fallen than a worm in a stool, with great humility and with great knowledge. He wrote Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He took help of the notes. In fact, Lokanath Das Goswami said, okay, I will tell you a lot about Lord Chaitanya Leela on one condition. My name should not be there in the book. Therefore, you don't find a great Acharya Lokanath Das Goswami name in Chaitanya Charitamrita, even though he gave so many pastimes of the Lord. He took it from everything from the notes of Murari Gupta, from Raghunath Das Goswami, from the Goswamis there. He heard, and collected the notes. Some notes were different devotees that kept different notes. Sarup Damodar had kept the notes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a personal secretary. When he was younger, Murari Gupta and other people had the notes, collected all the notes, heard from the devotees, and he composed unimaginable, beautiful scripture, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In fact, Prabhupada says so sweetly, he says, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, I'm lower than the worm in a stool, more sinful and Jagan Madhai, he says, but that is his humility. He is our esteemed master. So nice word Prabhupada says. He is our esteemed master because he composed such a beautiful literature, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So my desire is all of you also read this beautiful book. What is the book name? Chaitanya Charitamrita. Read that. In fact, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada predicted the whole world will learn Bengali to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's such a beautiful scripture. Anyway, you learn Bengali or not, Prabhupada has given you translation. So you sit and drink the pleasure of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very, very sweet book given by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. It's a very sweet book. In fact, once he writes in the Madhya Leela itself, he puts all his Antilila. And he says, I did that in a summary Antilila here because I'm not even sure I'm going to live to complete Chaitanya Charitamrita. And when Prabhupada writes that, he also changes his course. Prabhupada was translating Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada said, I do not know whether I'll live to complete Bhagavatam. So in the middle of his work, maybe that the 6th canto, some work, canto 8 canto Prabhupada was there. He suddenly Prabhupada started writing Krishna book with the same inspiration. And Prabhupada, because of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's statement, composed Krishna book before he even came to 10th canto. And actually, by Krishna's will, Prabhupada did not live to complete the Bhagavatam, but Krishna book is there with us. Because it's not same. Later his disciples completed the Bhagavatam, but we don't know who reads with the same level. Prabhupada books are read with a different level of respect and authority. So we have Krishna's Leela with the authority of Srila Prabhupada and details of Srila Prabhupada, pure devotion of Srila Prabhupada. So that Prabhupada took that inspiration of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So we see that these acharyas either to take, you see Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami or Radhunath Das Goswami here today, their life was so auspicious. Therefore, their Disapperance Day we celebrate. They are not ordinary. They all belong to the spiritual world, the different manjaris of the Lord. They all both have name which manjari they are. But still, the point here is that for our lesson, so much they did for the service to the Lord. So we should also feel, what will I do for the service to the Lord? Eating, growing old, producing children, all this, so many people, and animals are also doing that. That is not my only business of life. This is external, bahaya, iye bahaya. Our real business should be, can I do something for the pleasure of the Lord? Something I do that the Lord is pleased. And we see that how we cannot dream to do austerities of Radhunath Das Goswami, but something we can do. We cannot do a show, demonstrate knowledge like Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. That may also not be possible, but something I can do. So if I can dedicate myself to see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is pleased, Nityananda Prabhu is pleased, the Goswamis are pleased, Srila Prabhupada is pleased, Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada is pleased, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is pleased, don't you think the life will be successful? Yesterday I was saying, whose claps you want? So don't you want? Kardama Muni, yesterday we discussed, Brahma came and congratulated him. Wonderful. Wow. Wonderful. Such an exalted devotee, even as a Grihastha, so exalted. He is producing Kapila Muni as a son, incarnation of God, who will be a brahmachari later. Such a exalted personality. The Lord came to see him with tears in his eyes. Therefore, he had Bindu Sarovara. So exalted personality. The Brahma comes, congratulates him. Devatas, they throw flowers, and Apsaras are dancing in joy. Isn't it? So don't you think we should have a life so auspicious like that? So let us focus to develop a life sincere and dedicated. These are great inspiration for us. So without a tinge of contamination, and definitely without any tinge of hypocrisy. Let us be honest and truthful. Like Arjuna says to Krishna, Hridaya Daurbalya, weakness of my heart. If Arjuna is a great personality. So similarly, let us recognize the weakness to my heart. Number two, no, I'm in dangerous position. With all these weaknesses, I'm going nowhere. I'll stay in the material world only. I will not be able to progress in spiritual life. So we should dedicate ourselves to see that I come out of all kind of hypocrisy, become genuine, become sincere. Like Kardama Muni was also Grihastha, but very sincere, very genuine. Kapila Muni was a brahmachari, very sincere, very genuine. Doesn't matter which ashram we are, but let us be sincere and come out of all hypocrisy and genuinely be devoted to see we serve the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And both of them didn't. So we can take inspiration from them. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
Krishna
Pranam.
Prabhuji, thank you Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dhamma
Krishna
Pranam,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna.